Hello students, this is the part 5 of series Plant Physiology, class 11. So today we will discuss the absorption of water by plants. So how the plants absorbs water from the soil. So first thing we have to discuss, what is the availability of water to plants. Availability of water to plants. So what are the sources? So different sources are there, like capillary water, second is hygroscopic water, third one is gravitational water, and fourth is chemically combined water, and then rainwater. So here we will discuss one by one. So this capillary water is very important water source to the plant, because you know that the micro capillary spaces found in the soil particles, the micro capillary spaces which percolates water. So in this case what happens, the root hair enters into it and absorbs water. So maximum water is, or the main source of water is the capillary water. And hygroscopic water is what happens, the moisture which is added to the soil and very tightly bonded to the soil, so the plant cannot harvest it, this hygroscopic water. And gravitational water is really the water which is found more than 250 or more depth, so to which the root cannot reach. So for that, this gravitational water has also no use to the plant, or very little use. So at the time of passing water from surface to the depth of the soil, at that time little water is absorbed by the root. So chemically combined water means what? Sometimes some biochemical reactions taking place in the soil results into the water by different chemicals, so it has also very little importance. And rainwater is the direct water falling on the plant, so by which a wilted plant can get refreshed, but it is not the ultimate source for the plant. So out of these 5 sources, mainly this capillary water has more significant role, and all these other sources have very little importance. So now we will discuss how the water is, mechanism of water absorption. Mechanism of water absorption. So before going to discuss this, now we will discuss which part of the root practically involved in the process of absorption. So we can see particularly the region of the root which participates in the process of absorption. So this is the root cap, and this is the region of cell division, and here we can tell the region of elongation. So this region of elongation, and here you will find the region of maturation. So from this it is clear that this region of maturation contains the root hairs, and root hairs mainly absorbs the water. Root hairs mainly absorbs the water because these are very large number and increases the surface area for absorption. So basically we do find that is three regions: region of cell division and region of elongation, and region of maturation. So in this way we have discussed the different part, and out of that this region of maturation contains root hairs. So now we will discuss the water absorption is of two types. Water absorption is of two types. One is passive water absorption and active water absorption, and this active is again divided into osmotic mechanism and non-osmotic mechanism. So what do you mean by passive absorption? So this passive absorption is very easy, without any use of energy, simply by the process of transpiration, that is transpiration which is occurring. So passive process in which the no metabolic energy is used, and here by the simple process transpiration pool. So transpiration pool means what? First the loss of water occur the guard cells, then immediately it has impact on the mesophyll cells, or there is creation of DPD, what I have already discussed, DPD, diffusion pressure deficit, and then it has impact on the xylem strand, and finally this creation of DPD. Finally at the root system there is creation of DPD. So the transpiration process which involved in this case, what happens? Finally it causes DPD at the root hair, and passively the water enter into the root hair, and this is because of, we can tell, transpiration pool. So there is no direct involvement of any energy, no energy is used. So this is called passive process. And this active means what happens? This is important, that use of energy. So particularly in case of root structure, what we do find here, this is the root hair, which is the epidermal modification of the epidermis or epiblema, and here we will find the cortical region is there, cortex, and here the endodermis. So here the use of energy occurs, but here we are writing the osmotic mechanism. Osmosis, what we have already discussed in passive way, but this is the indirect expenditure. Indirect expenditure of energy. Metabolic energy. That means in cortical cells there is reactions occur which cause for the accumulation of salts, and these salts causes the lower water potential here, and by which it immediately has impact on the cortical, then the epidermal cells, that is root hair, and water is passing in, and there is indirect expenditure. For that, this is the osmotic mechanism of active water absorption. But in non-osmotic mechanism, that is in the adverse conditions, condition like water stress conditions. Water stress conditions, what happens? Suppose this is the root here is there, and the less water is available, less water, and here the more water is there, particularly in the summer season or in the verge of starting of wilting. What happens? There is stress on the plant itself. So what happens? Normally the membrane proteins which break down the ATP into ADP plus IP and use the energy and binds the water here and forcefully take water into the root hair cells. So this is the active and non-osmotic mechanism, and this can be easily studied by using the respiratory inhibitors. We can also check the how much of water is really absorbed. So in this way, and it directly, these respiratory inhibitors affects the rate of absorption. So this is the osmotic mechanism and the non-osmotic mechanism, and this is the passive process. So then we will discuss the factors that is affecting water absorption. So what are the factors really affects the water absorption? The first one is availability of water. So it is very simple that when more water is available in the soil, then the water potential is very high, so it is easy for the plants to absorb the water. Then concentration of solute in soil, it is very important that you know that the farmers when uses the particularly different types of nutrients, or we can tell fertilizers, uses nutrients or fertilizers. So what happens after using the fertilizers? High rate of water flow should be there, or particularly they are flooded with the waters to decrease the concentration of the solutes, by which facilitates the absorption of water. So when solute concentration increase in the soil, it adversely affects the water absorption. Then soil aeration plays also very important role, because when more porous and there is flow of what, that is oxygen, and so further this will affect the active water absorption. And the optimum temperature also plays very important role, because we have already discussed in biomolecule chapter that the enzymatic activity are highest in the optimum temperature. So in active water absorption it has very significant role. And the transpiration pool we have already discussed in passive water absorption. The transpiration plays very vital role. So it is found that the rate of transpiration is equal to rate of absorption. So the water which is absorbed by the plant is transferred by the plant. So it has direct impact. That is what we call the passive water absorption. So this is all about the absorption of water by plants. In the next class we do discuss the other topic.